50,000 young people are reported missing. They've run away from their families or from the care system, children's homes, foster homes, and so on. This Christmas, the luckier ones will be bedding down in squats or hostels. Many of them will be living and sleeping rough on the streets. Others are never seen or heard of again. They disappear without trace. So what are they running from? Where are they running to? And what can we do to help the nation's runaway children to escape from their twilight world?
The number of homeless young people in London has increased suddenly and dramatically, according to the charity Centrepoint Soho. And the charity says new social security rules introduced by the government 2 months ago are to blame.
Now, all payments are made 2 weeks in arrears. So unless you already have money from the JHSS...
That answer can only mean that the Prime Minister is willing to see these young people at risk from crime, from prostitution and even from hunger go on as they are in huge numbers.
There is a hostels initiative in order to have places approved for these young people to benefit the young single homeless.
Hello? Yeah, this is Janet. Yes, it is the Missing Persons Helpline. Can I help you?
Here at the Missing Person Helpline, as the Susie Humphrey Trust, get on average 4 calls a day from very worried parents, social workers, from everybody up and down the country. We find that there are children running away from care, running away from homes where there's obviously a problem, and running away from parents that really have no idea their child is unhappy. Sometimes it's O-levels and A-levels, children from boarding school that can't cope, and we have a wide range of parents phoning us.
Lee has been missing now for 2 years. He went missing on September the 10th, 1988, and he was on the way to a football match. He'd been shopping in Sutton High Street with a friend. He left his friend there, and nothing has been seen or heard of him since that day. Nobody knows, unless they are in my situation, how we feel. We don't cope, we just exist every day, because we just hope and pray that Lee is out there and that he's alive.
I think it is a major problem, and I think it's going to get worse. And nobody has taken the overall responsibility for this problem until we started looking into it.
In Lee's bedroom is just the same. All his pop stars to power, all his football posters are all there just as they were. I just can't touch them, hoping that one day he will come back to us.
Euston Station, 10 o'clock. 100,000 people pass through here every day. London's mainline stations are magnets for young runaways and the criminal elements who prey on them. Euston police intercept 300 runaways a year, and no one knows how many slip through the net.
Why? It's a long way to solution, isn't it? Where did he live? 731.
We're duty-bound in law for the people that we think are under 17 to bring them into the police station for their own care and protection. We are duty-bound to get them either back to the parents, or if they're social work under a social care order, then we'll contact the local social worker, who we will have to keep them here until they can come down to London, which can sometimes take a long time. We pick up runaways from all over the country, from Scotland, Northern England, Western England. They all seem to get to Euston at some stage.
But many of the young people returned to parents or the social services will run away again within 24 hours. Only this time, they're determined to avoid police.
It's not a nice place to be at any time of day, certainly at night for someone who's young and immature. It saddens me greatly because I know they come to London thinking it will answer all their problems. It never has done, and it never will do. I would say to anybody that's watching this programme that thinks coming to London will solve all their problems and that London's paving gold, it isn't. Don't come. If you've got a problem, try and sort it out at home.
But who are the runaways? Where do they come from and where do they go? This computer project is attempting to find out. At the moment what we're doing is running a month-long research project looking at all the reported runaways from Greater London, which would be about 500 a week. We've been running that for September, and at the moment what we're doing is putting them onto a computerised database. So we're just trying to find out a lot more about something which is rather shadowy at the moment. Certainly we're not finding a large number of so-called middle-class runaways. It does seem to be a problem which is very much one for 15, 14, 16, 13-year-olds, so it's very age-related. And of course the issue of care, which I think is one which has been neglected. And I think that we all need to be thinking much more carefully about our care system in this country and whether it's really meeting the needs of disadvantaged young people. "9 o'clock on a rainy night in Soho, and Lynn and Andy from the Vine Street Juvenile Protection Unit go about their rounds. Lynn and Andy are well known to London's young homeless population. They attempt to identify new arrivals on the street and either take them in for protection or give them advice. They also keep an eye out for people who might take advantage of them. It's estimated that as many as 80% of the runaways Lynn and Andy may find are refugees from the care system.
You argue with a member of staff and you get, I don't know, I can't even say, you get your back hand held right, like if you were getting arrested, your hand held right round your back, and I've had my hair pulled off me, and various other things have happened there.
This is NAYPIC, the National Association of Young People in Care. They've just released the first ever survey into abuse in the care system.
We couldn't believe it actually, the amount of sexual abuse that went on within the care system. And it's difficult to mention sexual abuse because people think it's sensationalist, but then if you take this study, I mean, I was pretty shocked myself. I mean, I was sexually assaulted while I was in care, and I think many of my friends who I know who were sexually assaulted were in care as well. But 50 people, 85% of them had been sexually assaulted whilst in care. 65% of them had been actually sexually abused whilst in care, and 75% of them had been physically assaulted and physically abused whilst in care.
They come up and bring your food, lock the door, put your food down, open the door, go back out, lock it again. That was it. It was like that for 24 hours a day.
We had young people being sedated, and because of the closing down of children's homes, which almost seemed to present a massive problem itself, what happened was young people were being moved to assessment centres and secure units for basic things like running away. I ended up in a grade 1 children's home, which was a secure unit when I was only 12 just for running away, which